Christine O'Donnell. She's a Delaware senatorial candidate.
Never before have our freedoms hung in such a delicate balance as they did at our founding. In our founding, our Constitution was created in a time of crisis when ordinary men and women, just like you all here, did extraordinary things. They knew that if they did not succeed, our infant country would fail. And the Constitution they created provides the framework for which ordinary men and women can create the world in which they want to live. So now, as our leaders no longer view these constitutional principles as indispensable, you have a choice to make. What sort of world do you want to create for our future generations? One in which our future generations are dependent on a bloated government for everything from food on their table to basic health care? One in which we must get the federal government's permission for what kind of light bulb we screw in our living room lamps? Or one in which our founding fathers envisioned. One in which they knew that while life can be hard, hard work will make life better. One in which the direct outcome of your hard work put the food on the table for your family. One in which your hard work provided the legacy for future generations. As I close, let me leave you with this. We all know the quote from Edmund Burke. The only thing necessary for evil to prevail is for good men and women to do nothing. But what about when those good men and women are tired? What about when they're broke? Or what about when they're just at their wits' end? Let me close with a personal story to answer that question. My campaign is gaining the momentum we need to win. Polls are showing that if we continue to hit our benchmarks, we can win in September, thanks to the groundswell of support we see here. Thanks to the groundswell of support of people like the Tea Party movement, who want to fight to return our country to the principles in which they were founded. Thank you. I love you guys too. If we continue to hit our benchmarks, well, let's just say this. You're all invited to my campaign headquarters for the best party this country has ever seen. And the lords of the back room know that. So they're attacking me. They're generating stories based on half-truth in order to discredit me. And the liberal media is picking it up in order to slander my character, because they know that my opponent cannot win based on his liberal voting record, which, by the way, when he was accused of being conservative, it was voting 6 out of 10 times with Barack Obama. That's Mike Castle's conservative voting record. Withstanding these attacks gets tired. It gets hard. And sometimes you need just a few minutes with a good friend to refresh your soul. A very dear friend of mine lives just a few blocks away from here. So in between campaign breakfasts and campaign dinners, I squeezed in a lunch with my good friend. During this lunch, she said to me, "Why are you doing this?" "No, really, Christine," I kind of chuckled. She said, "No, really. Why are you withstanding all these attacks? The world is your oyster. You have a good career track record in marketing. You have no family, no debt. You could do anything. Why are you putting up with this?" I thought about it for a second, and what I shared with her were the many stories that I read about how the revolutionary soldiers ran to battle barefoot, leaving trails of blood in the snow. How they had to eat lice from each other's heads in order to get protein. And how the passion for a free nation is what fueled them. And that's what I shared with her. She said to me, "You're going to be late for your next event, but you need to see this. Come with me." We went right over there to Washington Square, where there's an eternal flame that marks the grave of thousands of revolutionary foot soldiers and slaves. And above that eternal flame, says freedom is a light for which many men have died in darkness. And she said, Christine, what you have been called to do is going to require a complete dying to yourself, an utter humility like you've never known before. So let me close with the answer to that question. What do we do when the good men and women are tired? You get re-inspired. You go to Washington Square. You read the letters from those men and women who ran barefoot, leaving bloods of trail in snow, and you remember why we're doing this. Thank you for including me in today's rally. Thank you for being here. God bless you and God bless America. Come visit our table.